I almost come to the conclusion, I wonder if it can even be possible now. Would it be seen as cringe, or is it too common? There's too many people trying to be that impactful. And then Bob Dylan wasn't trying to be impactful, wasn't trying to change music. It seemed like Bob Dylan from the film just wanted to play what he wanted to fucking play. Didn't want the fame, didn't want everyone coming up to him, took no pleasure from that. And again, you obviously don't know, it's just from a film. But it's curious to me, the intentions behind these sort of things. What are intentions these days in society? Is that where society starts to worsen, when your intentions aren't good, aren't moral? And it seems to me like technology pushes you that way. I don't know, I could be chatting shit, but it was just a feeling I got from watching that film. So I ended up watching the Timothée Chalamet film where he's Bob Dylan, and it got me thinking about music again. It got me thinking, God, I wish I could play the guitar and create something like that. But it mainly got me thinking about that lifestyle back then. About the free time everyone must have had then, where they can spend their time and the mind on creative shit. I guess you've also probably got the other side of the coin, where you've got too much time to think about the shit that's going on and the bad stuff that's in your life. But I know it's just a film, but I don't know what it is about this time in society. It almost seems like we're not really living. Might just be my own experience, but it seems like in a sense we're just mindless robots. And I've been talking about creativity over the past couple of videos. I don't know what my focus and fixation is on it at the moment. I just feel like we're not living to our potential as a human. And with AI coming into everything, creativity is a massive point. Do we even need to be creative? Will AI be more creative than us? But I sit there watching that film and I look and I say, this has got to be one of those moments in society that's impactful. That you can put a pin in it and say, this is beautiful, and what did this create? How did it change music? How did it change society? How did it change how people feel at that time? Because there was a lot of shit going on. And I thought to now, and I think there's a lot of shit going on, but is there truly a lot of shit going on? Or are we just being fed that there's a lot of shit going on just so people can get clicks, views, and whatever? I don't know if it's because we look in the past and we can collectively bring things together. The 50s, the 60s, the 70s. There was a lot going on when it comes to war, when it comes to psychedelics, when it comes to peace, when it comes to art with music, film, and all that jazz. And I wonder if it's because you're collecting 4 years. When you say the 60s, it's 10 years. When you say from 2010 to 2020, if you collect that, there's a lot going on. And saying with 2020 to 2030, there will be a lot going on. And again, I don't know if that's because we're looking in the past, but it feels like it was a different time then. It was a more beautiful time then. And it could be biased because you're seeing one thing that's happening because of the film. But I can't help if that's reality. He sat there, instead of sleeping, he's not scrolling on a phone, there is no phone. He sat there with a guitar in his hand, early hours of the morning, writing. He's using him as the tool. He's not got this computer, this phone, all this information, all this around the world. And it seemed like there was less noise. They had the TV with the news on of Kennedy getting shot, or them going to war, or whatever. Not going to war, but the Cold War, I think it was. And it's like all this drama, yet he can switch the TV off and go back to him as the tool, his existence. And I wonder, like, is that better than what we've got now? I'm fighting to not go on my phone all the time, to not scroll, because I've got this conflict of my feed. I want to see the art. I want to see the creativity. This morning, I seen a clip of some fella singing, and I check him out, and now I'm going to listen to his music today. And it's like, I don't want to miss out on that beauty. But I almost don't want to be entertained. I don't want to be over-entertained, if that makes sense. And I get a weird feeling about the time that we're in, comparing it to the past. And I understand it might not be an accurate comparison. Only whoever grew up in those times would know. But when I watch other films about that time and about around then, I think about it and I think there seems to be a lack of passion here. I don't know if this is even a word, but commoditizing passion. So it becomes not worth anything because you've got clickbaits, you've got exaggerations. That you don't know what's real and what's true. I just seen a video of Tucker Carlson being called out. Whether it's true or not, I don't really give a shit. I'm not too interested in it. And she's saying, oh, you've said these words. He's saying those words never left my mouth. And then a clip shows him saying something. And that's the big drama of the morning, the big drama of the day. It's like, holy fuck. People make mistakes and forget what they say. Why are we holding people up to such strict standards? Like they're not human anymore. Human to human, me to you. I know I make mistakes. You know you make mistakes. But you look at these big figures and say they can't make mistakes. There's a whole load of reasons why whatever happens has happened is controversial. But my point is, it feels a bit fickle. It feels a bit dumb. I think dumb's the right word. When I'm comparing it to the passion, the creative art that were being shown in the past, the things that stand out, the things that matter, the things that change, like he changed rock and roll in a sense, changed music as a whole. That doesn't feel dumb, doesn't seem dumb, and yet it might be because we're looking in the past and you only see it in the past because it's, like I said, it's collecting things together. But I sit here and I say, why am I on my phone scrolling when I could be trying to learn how to produce something so beautiful like that? Whether I can or not, obviously, you've got geniuses and you've got different levels of art that are just society changing. And I'm not saying I'm going to get to that level or want to get to that level. But just a little piece of that. To be able to create something so beautiful with your own hands. and figure all this stuff out and create this beauty, it feels far superior than scrolling or making TikToks or making content. When you've got movies compared to making content, I kind of get the scrutiny now. When I was growing up watching YouTubers, and YouTubers get criticized for being not up to the standard, and I get it. I get where that push was coming from, because it's not that these YouTubers that were big actually negatively impact stuff, but it's everyone trying to get to their level. You force this dumbed down, this fickle idea of art, of creativity. This idea that now everyone has a phone or can buy a camera and can do all this, and I can sit in my car and think that just chatting away is going to get me somewhere, is going to impact something. And now I know it's fickle. And then I've got that balance between what I know, this is what I want to do. This is what gives me joy. And if you watch, you watch. If you don't watch, you don't have to watch. This doesn't become successful. It doesn't become successful. It's not the point. The point is, it's for me. I wonder if it's worth having that and having to have this dumbed down entertainment. Or does it just not get included in history because it isn't impactful? The strong things stay. The big things that impact everything stay in the history books, in a sense. But I'm just curious about that life before technology, before big technology. Obviously, like I said, you've got both sides of the coin. It weren't perfect. And I think that's sometimes about society. You've got your swings and your roundabouts. Things balance each other out. You've got great things over here and bad things over here. And all in all, I wonder if we just stay at the same level, just different over generations. You see, when you look back, let's say on your deathbed or at humans, and you say, what did we do? You're not bringing up TikTok. You're not bringing up content creations. You're bringing up your Bob Dylans. You're bringing up the passion. You're bringing up these beautiful moments. That really show emotion, that really grab you. I think I'm finding it difficult to really articulate the feeling I got from that film, or films like that, where you've got these big moments that change everything. Someone who's willing to forget about the fame, forget about the numbers, and just perform the music he wants to perform. There's something about that entices me in. That rebellious nature to do what you truly want to do. Even though you become famous for folk music. No, let's step out. Let's reach creatively and step into another level. And it's only that sort of behavior that does create change. There's no copying, there's no format, there's no, these 3 steps will get you X amount of views on YouTube, TikTok. This is how. Do these 5 things after you post. There's none of that when you come to a Bob Dylan. When you come to these creative geniuses, these figures, when it comes to a creative art, and there's like a standard set. I think everyone knows that. There's a standard set, but then you also do it on the other side. Sometimes it is okay just to have this relaxing, common sort of theme where you relate to someone on your level whereas a Bob Dylan's up at the top. You can't necessarily relate. They're too far away. There's a point where the art gets too beautiful, too good, where you're distant from it. You can't truly understand what he's doing. And I think we've fell in love with relating because we want to feel like we're that person that gets the views, that gets the popularity. We want to get as close to that. And we all know to get close to Bob Dylan, we're going to have to be playing the guitar. We're going to have to be involved in music for a good 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years to even come close to that. So we give up and we say we'll take the common route. We'll feel more relatable. We'll feel better about it from someone who's just a casual showing the vlogging their life. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying as humans, it's weird of what we've come to when it comes to creative art. That both work, but I feel like the negative is worse for the ones that don't make it in content creation, in this dumb art that somehow is working. Podcasts are just people chatting. How the fuck is that working? Sure, they share the truth, but how is that working? It baffles me. And it should work, don't get me wrong, it should work. And I like that it works. It's just strange that that works. Yet geniuses like Jimi Hendrix, Johnny Cash, Bob Dylan work as well. And it's on a different level. And I guess that is kind of what, when it comes to creativity and what works, it is what people want to see. And what do we want to see? I want to see when I'm watching that, I'm thinking, who's that person now? Who's that person changing music, impacting society? But I almost come to the conclusion, I wonder if it can even be possible now. Would it be seen as cringe, or is it too common? There's too many people trying to be that impactful. And then Bob Dylan wasn't trying to be impactful, wasn't trying to change music. It seemed like Bob Dylan from the film just wanted to play what he wanted to fucking play. Didn't want the fame. Didn't want everyone coming up to him. Took no pleasure from that. And again, you obviously don't know, it's just from a film. But it's curious to me, the intentions behind these sort of things. What are intentions these days in society? Is that where society starts to worsen, when your intentions aren't good, aren't moral? And it seems to me like technology pushes you that way. I don't know, I could be chatting shit, but there was just a feeling I got from watching that film, that something feels off. And you've got things like today in this world, like the manosphere, and your Andrew Tates, and you've got people who become famous because of all that. And I think, it feels wrong. I don't know if it is just music that makes it feel right, because it's expressed in this art. And same with film. You know it's a film, there's this story. There's this longer version of a story being told. It's more thoughtful. It's deeper. Rather than this quick. What can you learn in 10, 15, 20 seconds? It feels dumb. It feels wrong to me. I don't know if it's right or wrong. You're going to get what you're going to get. And I wonder I wonder what it's going to lead to. I mean, there are some people on TikTok, and it does benefit. There is both sides of the coin where it benefits society in a good way. I think the ups are probably higher, but the downs are more lower. That wasn't English, but still. I'm just curious. I'm just curious where creativity is leading humans. Where we're going to end up. What's the story that's going to be told about this generation, this time in society? Where is it going to lead to? But yeah, thanks for watching. Peace.